Hello from Bangalore, my name is Ivana and this is my new room. I finally found a home in Bangalore. Now I have a home base here and I'm so freaking happy. For today, I am going to talk a little bit more about the differences between Indian culture and Dutch culture because you guys really liked that video last week. Thank you so much for the sweet and kind responses to that. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Once again, I'm going to make a disclaimer. The culture differences that I'm describing are obviously generalized because it's impossible for me to talk about each and every person in a population of 1.3 billion Indians or a population of 17 million Dutch people. There are always exceptions and there always will be exceptions to what I am describing, but I'm just describing the general differences between the two cultures. And also, I am not saying one culture is better than the other. Something might sound negative to you, while at the same time it always also has some benefits if you're living in that culture. Somebody already mentioned it in the comments of last week's video. If you haven't watched that video, well, the link for that is down in the description below. But one massive difference, again, between India and the Netherlands is the way a family interacts with each other. In India, families are very tight. Families are so close to each other. It is extremely common for parents to have a say in their children's marriage. But also you have this concept of joint families. And in case you're a foreigner and you have never heard about the concept of joint families, it is basically, well, for instance, 2 or 3 brothers with 2 or 3 wives living in one house. And I think the concept is kind of born from, I don't know actually. Well, I know this one story where like a family lived together because, you know, when you arrive in a new city, you just stay with family. That's very common in India. You stay in their home. And I think it grew like that for them to be living under one roof. Now in the Netherlands, this is unthinkable. Families are definitely not as tight as in India. Obviously within like one family, like for instance, a mom, dad, and the children, they will be more tight, but extended family like uncles and aunties and stuff like that, I feel that there is quite a lot of distance in that. In the Netherlands, like usually you would see your family on birthdays or at marriages or stuff like that. Parents are also barely involved in the marriage of their children, and with that I mean that they don't per se look for a partner for their children like with an arranged marriage in India. But even like when children choose a partner, obviously parents have an opinion about it, but it is not very common for parents to, you know, have a say in that marriage or if the children are together like that. I would definitely say that in the Netherlands, family is, well, there is a lot more space in the relationships, if you would call it like that, which gives you a lot more privacy because let's be real, the other way around, you have aunties and uncles, you know, mingling in your love life and family life and your work life and whatever. In the Netherlands, that is a lot less. One other difference I feel is the definition of politeness in India and in the Netherlands. So in the Netherlands, we say a lot of please and thank yous and could you please give me this or could you please sit there. It's definitely not as polite as, for instance, the British, but a lot more words are used when somebody is asking you something. Now in India, I feel that people communicate with a lot less words. So for instance, somebody will give you a plate and say, eat, or sit there, or come here, idhar aao. Hindi is extremely common in India and it is not considered rude at all and it's still polite. While I do feel if a Dutch person would come to India, they would definitely have to get, you know, accustomed to that because for them it feels very rude if you don't say like, oh, thank you, or could you please sit there or something like that. An Indian person will usually just tell you, sit. A lot less words are used to ask someone something. And Indian people use a lot less pleases and thank yous, which I feel is quite time efficient. let's be real. Moving on from this politeness cultural difference, I feel there is also a massive difference in how people speak their mind. In the Netherlands, Dutch people will tell you exactly what they're thinking. They have no issues telling you, I don't know, or I don't want this, or no, I will stop eating right now. You stop feeding me, you Indian people. In India, this is considered quite rude, I have to say. Indian people have, I don't think they have issues with saying I don't know. They just feel very uncomfortable with it, because Indian people have told me many times I don't know whenever I, for instance, ask them for directions. But whenever they say it, I feel they feel very uncomfortable. Also, Indian people will usually not say no to your face. And it is also quite rude to say no to someone's face. So if they're offering you food, it is better to say, oh, maybe just a little, and then just take a little crumb so you have eaten. Also, if somebody asks you if you want to go somewhere, it is better to say, oh, maybe tomorrow or maybe next week or something like that, instead of saying like, no, I don't want to go. Also, when you're speaking to rickshaw drivers, actually it is better to say maybe tomorrow instead of no. Dutch people are considered to be one of the bluntest people in the world. I think I fall into that category, but at the same time, India has made me more soft and a little bit more polite, because I can definitely see the effect it has on people if you be less direct with people than what we're used to in Dutch culture. Obviously in the Netherlands I can do it, but whenever I'm traveling, most places in the world are definitely not as direct and blunt as Dutch people are. Also, for all my Dutchies or foreigners who are visiting India, don't feel that an Indian person is trying to cheat you or whatever if they say like, oh, maybe tomorrow, maybe we'll do it the other way or whatever. It's just usually their way of saying no, or I don't know, or it can't be done, or stuff like that. Just find a different way to get ish done that you want to get done, or like to go somewhere or whatever, or meet that person on a different day. Maybe something is going on, whatever, and they don't want to talk about it. Honestly, they're being polite in their culture, and they're not trying to cheat you or lie to you or whatever. It's just very common in Indian culture. Now, this is also an insane difference between the Netherlands and India. So in the Netherlands, or in Holland, we have this saying, doe maar gewoon, dan doe je al gek genoeg. Which basically means, just be normal, that's crazy enough. Dutch people are the most down-to-earth people you will ever meet in your life. And this is so nice, because they are very balanced, and it's usually quite hard to get into an argument or something with a Dutch person, because they're so chilled out. Generalizing again, let's be real. But Indians, on the other hand, are the most masala, emotionally charged people in this world. They are so emotional in everything that they do in their life, whether it concerns love, and they're so passionate about expressing love, or partying, like they can party like crazy. They can sometimes get very upset and use a lot of hands. They're just like really emotional, and they do not hold back on expressing those emotions. That is not something that you will see with Dutch people. Dutch people are very mellow. You can have the most beautiful view in the world, and a Dutch person would say, yeah, that's a nice view. In Dutch, they would say, ja, aardig uitzicht. I love it. It's so funny. Once you get the hang of it, and once you realize that that's their way of expressing emotions, it's actually really fun. Obviously, I still have some more differences that I haven't discussed, but for the sake of the length of this video, I will maybe save that for a different video. One thing that I definitely haven't discussed is sex and relationships, so I will definitely cover that. If you guys are interested, let me know by putting a thumbs up if you like this video, and if you would like to see more of my videos and travel vlogs. I think in India and all over Asia, what is happening? Seriously, maybe a kid is playing with the balcony. I'm so sorry for the sound or the noise. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.